I don't want to. If I said that, would you not do it?
Well, of course you have every right to refuse. However, if the calamity begins...
I understand.
Excuse me. What will the teachers outside of Class 3 do?
They will cooperate to the best of their ability. However, you should not discuss this matter.
Not even to our families?
The rules dictate that we must not speak of it.
I thought it wasn't going to happen this year. At the opening ceremony, we had the perfect number of desks.
I know that, but we were short a desk once the new student came.
Are you saying you can start a month late?
It looks that way. So then.
By the way, you checked him out, right? How'd it go?
I honestly don't think it's him.
How do you know?
He never lived in Yomiyama. He has no siblings. And his hands weren't cold. Still...
Still, if it's such an important rule, why wasn't I told about it when I first got there?
Well, the problem is, you had already spoken to me. That made it difficult for them to broach the subject with you.
Tell me something. There's another thing I want to ask you. Is there some reason your desk is the only one in the class that's so old?
That's part of the rule. I guess it serves some sort of purpose in completing the charm for Class 3.
I saw the words, "Who is dead?" scribbled on your desk. Did you write that? Tell me.
Yes, I know that I'm not dead, so I wanted to ask who is. That's all it was.
Do you know who it is?
Well... This is my friend, Sakakibara.
Welcome. Forgive my appearance. Is he a friend from class? Or from the art club?
He's also a customer at the gallery downstairs. He seems to enjoy it immensely.
Oh, really? That's an unusual interest for a boy. You like dolls?
Well,
You should probably be leaving now, Sakakibara.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, Kirika. I'll go ahead and see him out.
Okay. Feel free to come again anytime.
Are you always like that?
What do you mean?
The way you talk to your mom. I'd almost think you two are strangers from the way you talk to each other.
We've pretty much always treated each other that way. What's your family like?
I don't have a mom. She died right after I was born.
I see. Well, that was normal for us. Because you see, I'm nothing more than another one of her dolls.
That's awful. You're her daughter. Her flesh and blood.
I may be flesh and blood, but I'm not real.
Then does your mom know about all this stuff with Class 3?
No, she doesn't. I can't tell her.
What does she think about you skipping school so often?
She couldn't really care less. Or she just doesn't want to interfere. Except with certain things.
What things? Well, now I know Class 3's secret. But how can you accept what they're putting you through? Just to complete their charm?
There's no other way. I just happened to be the one. If it hadn't been me, I would have had to follow the others and treating someone else like they don't exist. I think it's better that I'm the one who's cut off, don't you?
Why did they decide to make two people non-existent?
Well, because they probably thought the charm wouldn't hold if they told you to start ignoring me now. That's all.
So by making a second person cease to exist, they thought they could strengthen the charm?
Right. It also saves them the trouble of explaining me to you. It's quite logical, actually.
I see. But it's just a charm, isn't it? All of this for a charm?
Well, they're desperate. When they consider that they might be next, it makes them take things seriously. Do you think they're being unreasonable?
Yeah, I do.
I'm afraid there are no guarantees. But if there's a chance it could help everyone avoid the calamity, isn't it worth it? It's sad when people die so tragically.
Hey, thanks. Be careful on your way home. We're both close to death, after all.
I'll be fine. I showed you this once before, didn't I? I lost my left eye when I was 4. It developed a nasty tumor. I woke up one day and the eye was gone. My mom said a regular artificial eye wouldn't be attractive, so she made a special one just for me.
You don't have to hide it. Misaki, I actually think your eye is beautiful.
They say I almost died during my surgery. I can sort of vaguely remember what happened that day. Believe me?
You mean a near-death experience?
Death isn't kind. It's dark and black, and as far as you can see, you're all alone. There's no one else.
All alone?
Yes, but it's no different when you're alive, is it? No matter how many relationships we seem to have, we're all alone. I am, my mother is. And you are too. So was Misaki. Starting tomorrow, we're 2 of a kind.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Welcome to the club, Sakakibara.
Man, India is scorching!
What's with you?
Hey, what do you mean by that?
If you're worried about my health, I'm fine. Hey, Dad, did Mom ever talk to you about her memories of junior high school?
Huh? Where's this coming from?
Mom was in class 3 in 9th grade too, right? Anything come to mind?
Nope.
Nothing at all?
Well, I'm sure she told me a few things. So, Ritsuko was in class 3, you say? Anyway, how's it feel to be back after,
A year and a half? This was my first time coming here since I started junior high.
Huh? I'm not sure of that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. My mistake. Yeah, hey, you're breaking up. Can you hear me?
Misaki!
Sakakibara!
I gotta stop that. Kirika doesn't make lunches for you?
Sometimes when she feels like it. But to be honest, they're not very good.
Do you ever cook?
Mm-mm. Never. I can only heat up ready-made meals. Isn't that normal for kids our age?
I'm a pretty decent cook, actually.
Really? That's unusual.
I was an officer in the cooking club at my old school.
Then will you make me something to eat someday?
Sure, someday.
Oh.
By the way, weren't you drawing up here before? Have you finished what you were drawing?
Pretty much.
Did you decide to give her wings?
I did. I'll show you. Someday.
Is drawing your hobby?
I think I like looking at art more than making it. I mostly just look at art books, though. We have lots of them at home.
Do you ever go to the museums?
No, there aren't many around here.
Then you should visit me in Tokyo someday. We can go to museums there. I'll be your tour guide.
Sure. Someday. I just felt like dropping in.
So, you didn't quit the club after all?
No, I just needed a break.
Oh, yeah?
I see Mochizuki hasn't changed.
Speak of the devil. Hi, Mochizuki.
Hey, guys, do you think you could all come with me for a second? There's something we've got to do right away.
We do? What is it?
Oh, why do we
But
have to go
Misaki's here
do
to
this?
visit us.
I'm in the middle
Never
of
mind that, just hurry, okay?
Please. At least it wasn't thrown away, I guess. Which one is your mom?
Oh, this one.
Ritsuko, huh? I see. That's nice.
By the way, is their homeroom teacher...
You sure looked different back then.
So it is the person you mentioned before?
Yes, I was talking about Chibiki.
Oh, two of you here today.
There are two non-existent people here now.
So I see. Do you understand the situation now, Sakakibara?
I guess I do, but I'm still finding it hard to wrap my head around it.
That's understandable. But it's true. No question now. This phenomenon is truly happening in this town, in this school.
So according to that picture, you were Class 3's homeroom teacher 26 years ago, weren't you? And that's how you knew my mother.
That's right.
Then you're not going to get in trouble with the class if you don't ignore us, are you?
I have no connections to your class at this time. I'm in a safe position, you might say.
Then who is it that's in danger?
The students of Class 3 and their families, within 2 degrees of separation, and they must live in Yomiyama.
2 degrees would mean parents, grandparents, and siblings. If they have to be living in Yomiyama, does that mean anyone who leaves town would be safe?
Yes. Think of it like a cell phone signal that starts going out of range.
Why do you stay here then?
I never meant to harm anyone. Never. Seems silly to think that way now. But that ended up being the trigger, which opened the door to death. I was responsible for that. That's the reason I remain here at this school, but as a librarian, not a teacher. I suppose I was just running away from it all.
Running away?
Half of me was crushed by guilt, but the other half was ruled by fear. Fear that I might be the next to die. So I ran away.
Have teachers died too?
Only homeroom and assistant homeroom teachers.
Excuse me, was the Misaki who died 26 years ago a boy or a girl?
A boy. His surname was Yomiyama, like this town. His full name was Misaki Yomiyama. One night in May, his house burned down. The whole family died, parents and brothers included.
Did you see the photo the dead Misaki appeared in? Did you get one?
Yes, I did.
Do you still have that photo?
No. To tell you the truth, it terrified me.
Is it true when they say school records somehow get altered?
It's true. This holds copies of all class rosters, 26 years worth from 1972 to present. The people with a red X by their name are the ones who died that year. Look at the roster from 2 years ago. See the name written at the bottom?
Yeah.
She was the dead person that year.
So what you're saying is 7 people died in 1996. That's not many, is it?
Because the plan to make one person non-existent worked. After the students implemented the procedure, nobody else died. However, shortly after the second term began, the student they chose to not exist ended up renouncing the role. Breaking under the pressure and isolation, he demanded that he existed, and that everyone treat him accordingly.
And so it began.
The deceased in 1996 was named Amami Asakura. But she was originally a student in the 1993 class. However, I've checked the official records for 1996, and her name was not on the roster.
It wasn't?
Correct. As I recall, her name was on the 1996 roster. But there was no record of her having attended in 1993. It had disappeared.
Both the name and the X?
Both, yes. As you can see, when the phenomenon is active, checking records is pointless.
And people's memories. They're altered too, aren't they?
Exactly. Then, at the end of the year, when the deceased disappears after graduation, the records revert to their original state, ultimately revealing the extra student. In addition, all memories of the deceased are lost. All is forgotten. It doesn't make any sense.
The records and the memories just go back to normal?
I cannot comprehend the logic behind it. I've essentially given up trying. There is only one countermeasure that seems effective against this phenomenon. Denying the existence of someone in the class.
What's the countermeasure's success rate?
About 50%. Some years it works perfectly, others it fails completely. Some years it's clear why the measure failed, others it's unknown, can't predict it.
That's terrible.
I don't believe it's a curse. There is no malice, none at all to be found. It occurs naturally, like a typhoon or an earthquake.
Then will having 2 non-existent students be more effective?
I can't say. There are almost no instances of the calamity stopping mid-year.
Really?
Miss Nakomi was Class 3's homeroom teacher in 1996?
Huh? Oh, you're right.
That young lady has been through a great deal already. To make her the assistant homeroom teacher again after so little time. That'll be all for today.
Just one more thing. Was 1983, 15 years ago, a year when it happened?
1983. I believe it was.
I see. I thought that might be the case.
All right. That was Reiko's year, wasn't it? So you mean Ritsuko was in Yomiyama then?
She was. She came here to have me and stay with her family for a while.
So she died in this town. Now I see.
I'm sorry, Koichi. I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do.
Just tell me something. When my mom died 15 years ago, was that part of the Class 3 calamity?
I don't know.
My poor Ritsuko. Poor Ritsuko. My Ritsuko. My poor Reiko, too.
Don't say that, dear. I think we should just call it a night.
Cheer up, Ray. Cheer up, Ray. Cheer up!
I honestly don't know what happened to Ritsuko. But I think the calamity was stopped that year, but I'm not sure about it.
It stopped mid-year? What do you mean? How was it stopped? Please, Reiko!
I can't remember.
Reiko, what do you mean? Please try to remember something. Anything at all.
Well, I think something may have happened during summer break.
Summer break?
I can't remember what, though. I'm sorry, Koichi.
Good morning, class. Today I must apologize to you all, but I have to. I have done my utmost so that all of you could... So all of you could all graduate in good health next spring. I did everything I could to make that happen for all of you. But unfortunately, everything that occurs from now on is for all of you to deal with together. Once all of this is started, I don't know if any amount of struggling will do any good for any of you at all. I don't know. You can't expect me to understand, but I believe it's futile to speak of such things now. I don't know what to do. This is my only choice.
Sphere joint.